Hey y'all, Hubkap Dillon here. Well, it's been a while, but I thought it was time for another Card Stuff and Coffee. However, I have decided to change the name to Coffee and Card Stuff with Hubkap Dillon. So I thought today I went to the Abracadabra Antiques in Caldwell and I picked up this cool promo. The 1958 Pontiac Bonneville convertible. And it was a friction car. Got the same Pontiac ribbing here on the trunk. And I like the little, wake up the little stars here. It looks like it's got the Fiesta style caps. I just like how these promos were all detailed and everything's complete, nothing's missing. I mean, most of these cars have a little warpage on them, but to be, oh, well, this is almost 70 years old, 68 years old, in pretty good shape for its age. And this is the first Bonneville convertible I've seen in a promo. And I will be doing more. I've got more promos, so there will be more videos on these. I've got something kind of cool planned for the next promo I show. Let you look at it a little bit better. And I like the visors there. Like I say, it's a complete car. Well, if you got your coffee ready, we'll sit back and we'll check out the magazine I selected for today. Well, if you got your coffee ready, we'll sit back and we'll check out the magazine I selected for today. Well, before we get started here, let's get a sip of coffee. And seeing as we checked out the 1958 Pontiac Bonneville promo, we're going to cruise through this 1958, May of 1958 issue of CarCraft magazine. Got the lady in the convertible and got a how-to on interiors and Corvette taillights. Man, it looks like there's a topic that is kind of controversial these days. We might get into that a little bit. Well, let's check out the back here. So we have Grant, piston rings, and check out this cool t-shirt you could get for $1.50. Postpaid included, it looks like. Man, I'd like to go back and get a bunch of those t-shirts. Let me get this adjusted a little bit better. All right, let's start at the beginning. 1958 Automotive Guide to Cars of the World, 75 cents. Or you could send an extra 10 cents and get it sent to you. And you could get 6 issues of CarCraft for $1. Put the little coupon there. This is pretty cool. Got all these decals here, pinstriping and pinstripe by Gosh for that beauty touch. Right there. By Creative Enterprises. All right. I like these little books. These, I think, are my favorites. I like them as well as I do the regular size hot rod magazines and bubble skirts, custom designed to give your car that long, low look. Wheel disc lock. I'd like to have that display there. Muffler sealer right there. That's pretty cool. I still say kids need to get into this stuff these days. I mean, there's nothing wrong with video games, but they need to have other interests as well. And it looks like that was and here's a restyling is easy. Bands and Continental kits. Wonder how many people bought those back in the day. I'm sure these builders, these fabricators like or not Coddington, but Barris and Winfield, I'm sure they fabricated their own. And there's a cloth for polishing your ride and shining it up. Oh, this is cool. Pinstriping kit. It's cool seeing advertisements on all this stuff and thinking about people actually pinstriping back in the day and kind of seeing where they got some of their, they might have got some of their tools and brushes or whatever, paints. Another do your own customizing with a tap kit. And it's cool to think of these clubs ordering from these places and getting all these jackets and t-shirts. They could get everything they needed for their club. I mean, and this is pretty much to me California car culture because all this stuff was in California and SoCal or however you want to say it. JC Whitney. Get a simulated leather seat cover. Oh, cool cap spinners, custom louvers, more cotton mill kits. Stuart Warner, they've been around for a while. All right, let's move on. There's a welder, 475 four-way. You can weld, braze, cut, and solder. Well, there's Chicago. And then where people submit pictures of their rides and tell about them. A huge 1958 auto parts book. Jacket emblems. And there's Lady Luck. I saw a video where there's a guy that runs a little business on Route 66. I can't remember which state it is, but he, I guess, owns the copyrights to Lady Luck. Here, it's getting a little out of focus, I think. Excuse me for that. And flip top Phaeton. When a Victoria lost its head and became a flip top Phaeton. And there's more of it. Corvette tail lights. We use those on different cars and as a customizing element. They were very creative back then, coming up with these ways that were, I mean, nowadays it's heard of, but back then it was totally unheard of. You know, people didn't really think about it like they do now. And I mean, they came up with the customization, but it was just stuff they came up with. And now these days, there's really doesn't seem to be as much creativeness. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of all passed down. And I know there's people that can and do come up with neat ideas and cool ways to customize. And it's a pretty long article here on these tail lights. All right. This is called the breakaway bomb, the Fiat. I know a guy who has a 37 Fiat. Looks like an old race car. Okay, well, we won't get there yet. We'll look at this Fiat some more. I'm going to go back here and see what. I guess this was a 48. Okay, here we go. This article is about how well a car with an automatic transmission could perform on the quarter mile compared to one equipped with a stick shift. The end result being a Hydromatic that had been reworked or modified was a better option as far as an automatic. Whether it's at the drag strip or out on the road, to this day, what's better, stick shift or automatic? Which do you prefer? Please plop it down in the comments. Kilometer records fall. Rodders shatter 20-year-old marks. Now we're back to customization and restyling. Now that is pretty cool. I think I've looked in this once before, and I thought that was really neat where they incorporated the Edsel grill and dual headlights. 42 to 48 Chevy, there's what it would have looked like before, and there's how it would look like once they get it all finished, or how they would like it to look. There's another illustration. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Sophisticated soft top, a 55 Ford custom line. That guy screams 1958. And interiors. I think we'll kind of move this along here. Well, actually, let's look at some of these interiors. This is tuck and roll with a little diamond in the middle. That's kind of cool with the diamond tuck. That's pretty cool. Tuck and roll, or back in the day, I think they called it tuck and pleat. There was something a little different. It's a pretty lengthy article. May have to kind of look through this some more. Man, that is quite a long article. Showing headliners. I like that headliner. That'd be pretty cool. Gives you some ideas for sure. Well, there's a cool steering wheel cover. And that's prefab accessory of the month for a lake pipe kit. Oh, I'm going to say that to the end. We're getting close. Another welder. These miniature racing wheels. And here's people sending in their car woes and asking for advice. Make more money in auto mechanics than diesel. And the J.C. Whitney catalog again. Reupholstering with a brush. Bubble skirts. The latest and hottest by Stylex Company. That's in Michigan. And a lot of new items. I still like to find some of them old wheel covers and old hubcaps like that. Here are more of the Fiesta style caps. Heat resistant engine enamel for $1, a half a pint. Man, you can't get a half a pint of paint for $1 these days. But then you gotta consider again. Oh, and then there's the continuation of the stick shift and automatic. Now let's check this out. Cool little pin-up photo in the back. Looks like a custom Ford. This weekend's going to be the Boise Roadster Show. I'm hoping to get some footage of that and bring you some more content. Anyway, that's pretty cool. I'd like to thank y'all for taking the time to check out the cool promo and the magazine. I appreciate it. And please feel free to pop a comment down below. And please give this video a thumbs up. And please subscribe to the channel. I'd be happy to have you as a subscriber. And remember to ring that bell for notifications because more content is on the way. And you don't want to miss out on updates as to when that content is coming out. And you all take care. Hubkap Dillon signing off.